One framework is a platform aimed at speeding up and simplifying the process of getting overstretched countries back by their feet, but progress has been slow. And in Ethiopia, the country has arrested dozens of suspected Islamic State militants who it claimed have been trained and deployed to carry out operations across the country. According to a statement by the National Intelligence Security Services (NISS), which was shared with FANA, the 82 suspects were part of Islamic State Somalia affiliate, which operates in the semi-autonomous Puntland region. NISS has been closely monitoring the group's cross-border infiltration strategies and its effort to establish sleeper cells in Ethiopia with an estimated 700 to 1,500 fighters. Islamic State Somalia wings has grown in recent years. You're still listening to Global Box on Adamimogo 107.7 FM Idoekiti. Coming up next, Trump presses Kremlin for peace as he warns Ukraine against attacking Moscow. Do join us again.
It is another refreshing time and the outpouring power of God as Christ Apostolic Church, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, presents Sure Mercy of David, a yearly fasting and prayer program where God is set to heal the sick, deliver the poor, set the captives free, and save the lost. Sure Mercy of David comes up in the month of August, every Friday to Sunday, each week in the month of August 2025, as God will be using his anointed servant, Prophet Sam Oluwalo Baba Adamimogo, and many other great anointed men of God. Many spiritual singers will be ministering in song as well. Venue, CAC, Grace of Mercy Prayer Mountain, Adamimogo, Jesus City, Elamija Village, Lekki Epe Expressway, Lagos State. For one-on-one counseling with Prophet Sam Oluwalo, register at JesusCityRadio.com. Sure Mercy of David. Don't miss it.
Welcome back and thanks for joining us again. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on Facebook via Adamimogo 107.7 FM Idoekiti. For happenings around your news and queries, please contact our newsroom on 0915 786 8095. Now to the rest of the news. We now move outside Africa and we move to the United States, where President Donald Trump has said Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky should not target Moscow military, as he pushed Russian President Vladimir Putin to agree to a ceasefire within 50 days to avoid steep U.S. tariffs and sanctions. Trump's comment to reporters about Zelensky's yesterday came after the Financial Times reported earlier in the day with Trump privately encouraged the Ukrainian president in a July 4 call to escalate his country's attack on Russia. Meanwhile, White House Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt addressed a reporter, while addressing reporters, offered clarification in a statement issued to USA Today, indicating that President Trump's remarks cited in the report had been misinterpreted and removed from their official original content. David added that Trump was merely asking a question, not encouraging further killings, assuring that Trump is working tirelessly to stop the killings and end the war. So in the United States, President Trump has said Attorney General Pam Bondi should release whatever she thinks is credible for sex offender Jeffrey Epstein, as he faces a rare backlash from supporters after seeking to draw a line under the case. Bondi has been lambasted by some of Trump's political base after she said at least there was no evidence that Epstein kept a client list or was blackmailing powerful figures. Earlier, Trump praised his Attorney General's handling of the matter, reiterating his demand for the release of credible information.
So we made a deal with Indonesia. I spoke to their really great president, very popular, very strong, smart, and we made the deal. We have full access to Indonesia, everything. As you know, Indonesia is very strong on copper, but we have full access to everything. We will pay no tariff. So they are giving us access into Indonesia, which we never had. That's probably the biggest part of the deal. And the other part is they are going to pay 19%, and we are going to pay nothing. I think it's a good deal for both parties, but we will have full access into Indonesia.
At the weekend, Trump urged supporters not to waste time and energy on the controversy, but allies of the president, including House of Representatives Speaker Mike Johnson, are calling for transparency. Britain has set up a secret scheme to bring thousands of Afghans to the UK after their personal details were disclosed in one of the country's worst ever data breaches, putting them at risk of reprisals from the Taliban after their return to power. A leak originating from the Ministry of Defense in early 2022, followed by the appearance of sensitive information on Facebook the next year alongside a classified relocation initiative, had all been placed under the constraint of a super injunction. Britain's Defense Ministry, John Halley, apologized for the leak, which included details about members of parliament and senior military officials who supported applications to help Afghan soldiers who worked with the Britain military and their families relocate to the UK.
This serious data incident should never have happened. It may have occurred 3 years ago under the previous government, but to all those whose information was compromised, I offer a sincere apology today on behalf of the British government, and I trust the Shadow Defence Secretary, as a former Defence Minister, will join me in this. Mr. Speaker, to date, 36,000 Afghans have been accepted by Britain through the range of relocation schemes. Britain has honoured the duty we owe to those who worked and fought alongside our troops in Afghanistan. The British people have welcomed them to our country, and in turn, this is their chance to rebuild their lives.
The incident ranks among the worst security breaches in modern British history because of the cost and risk posed to the lives of thousands of Afghans, some of whom fought alongside British forces until their chaotic withdrawal in 2021. Cuban's Minister for Labor, Martha Elano, has been forced to resign after she made comments denying the existence of beggars on the communist-run island. The Labor Minister made the comment earlier this week at a session of the National Assembly. She also accused people searching through the rubbish of being illegal participants in the recycling service. A comment made in a parliamentary session were widely criticized by Cubans at home and abroad and prompted a response from the island's president, Miguel Diaz-Canel. During a recent session of the Cuban parliament, President Diaz delivered a pointed critique aimed at leadership practices within government, implicitly referring to the Labour Minister without naming her directly, stating that those in power must avoid any semblance of condescension and remain closely to the daily experiences and concerns of the public. And finally on sports this afternoon, British tennis player Tara Moore has been banned for 4 years after a court agreed with the International Tennis Integrity Agency that she should be suspended for using performance-enhancing drugs. Moore, Britain's former number one ranked doubles player, said she has never knowingly taken a banned substance in her career. She tested positive for anabolic steroid and some other drugs in 2022 April, but she was cleared in December 2023 after an independent tribunal determined that the result was caused by eating contaminated meat while she was competing in Colombia. The ETA appealed that ruling, focusing on the portion of the findings related to nandrolone, and the Court of Arbitration for Sport ruled in the ETA's favor, saying that the majority of its panel felt that more could not prove the simple was consequent or consistent with the injections of contaminated meals. And with that sports story, we